Okay, so today we have a number of things that we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at substituting in for a variable. And then, of course, we have to apply the order of operation. We will be using integers as well. So this is what we were given. And first thing we need to look at, we've got PR. When there's two variables together like that, it means that they're going to be multiplied. So the first thing we're going to have, the first thing we're going to have is P times R, which is 5 times 3, plus R is still 3, times the quantity of, that's what we say when we see parentheses, 2 times P is 5, plus 25, minus M is negative 2. I know there's no parentheses there to begin with that M, but I'm putting the parentheses in there to separate those two negatives, or the subtraction from the negative and the 2, plus 2, and I've got a number next to a variable. Again, it means I'm going to multiply, so that's 2 times 3. Okay, so whenever I approach one of these problems, I need to keep in mind the order of operations. I'm going to start with P, which is parentheses. So the first set of parentheses I get is right here, and I have to go in order from left to right, or I need to pay attention to the multiplication, addition, division, etc. So I've got multiplication and addition in here. The first thing I need to do is multiply. You'll see I'm underlining everything I'm not going to do. I'm only going to do one thing at a time. I understand that this is kind of frustrating at times when there's so much to be done, but in the long run, you're so far better off taking one thing at a time, because then if you make a mistake, it's easier to find it. It's also far easier to check your work. So we're not done with these parentheses here. Again, underlining everything else. So I'm going to bring down the things that I've multiplied. And inside the parentheses, I've got 10 plus 25, which gives me 35. And bring down the rest of this problem. So it looks like I'm done with everything inside parentheses. Now, I understand that there are two numbers still in parentheses, but there's nothing to be done to them. Nothing to be done inside this parentheses, so we just carry on with the next operation. We know that we would usually look at the E for exponents. There are none in this particular problem. So I'm going to move on to multiplication and division. Remember, I approach both of those going in order from left to right. So as I go across my problem, the first multiplication or division thing I come to is a multiplication problem of 5 times 3, which is 15, plus 3, well, I did put that parenthesis in the wrong spot. I still would have gotten the correct answer, but we want to make sure we clean it up and make it clear what we're doing. So that's 3 times 35 minus negative 2 plus 2 times 3. So I'm still looking at that multiplication and division in order from left to right. So the next thing I get to is this 3 times 35. 3 times 35. So let's see, 3 times 30 is 90. 3 times 5 is 15. 90 plus 15 is 105. Minus negative 2 plus 2 times 3. Still going in order from left to right, looking at all the multiplication and or division. Moving right along, the next thing I get to appears to be the last multiplication or division in this problem. So I've got 15 plus 105 minus negative 2 plus 2 times 3 is 6. Now obviously I'm running out of room here, so I am going to flip the page and I'm going to rewrite where I left off so that I don't get confused or leave anything out. You always want to be very precise when we're solving any kind of math problem. So in order to ensure that I'm doing that, I want to write out everything. So I'm done with multiplication and division. Next thing I'm going to do is add and subtract, again in order from left to right. So the first thing I get to is 15 plus 105. That's easy because 15 plus 5 is 20. There's another 100 there, so it's 120 minus -2 plus 6. Now, don't forget, we're looking at 120 minus a negative, so that means I get to do the math cha-cha-cha. So that's stay, change, cha-cha-cha. Don't forget to cha-cha-cha or you'll get it wrong. So 120 plus 2 is 122 plus 6. This is the last thing I have to do. 122 plus 6. Well, 2 plus 6 is 8. So it gives me 128 is my final answer.